Welcome to the Worship Tutorials vlog. That's a nice guitar you got there, Bradford. This week is going to be chock full of awesome stuff. We are set up for an online conference. There's a camera. Here's where we're going to be doing our presentation stuff.
This is pretty cool.
Live.
We could have done this conference in our jammies and nobody would have known the wiser.
Well, from the bottom half.
Yeah, pull the news report.
But we did put pants on. We're also going to talk about this new setup here. I've completely rearranged all of the desk and everything. So we're going to go through that. We got some new toys, Bradford.
Yes, we did.
Just temporarily.
No, not if I have anything to say.
Nah. We're playing this through the Princeton, by the way.
The clean tones of all clean tones.
Gosh, this amp sounds so good. By the way, our friend Kevin from Vintage King / our friend Jason from Universal Audio sent us this little demo board so we can demo the UA effects pedals. So we unfortunately don't get to keep them. But you know, everything is available for the right price, Bradford.
That needs to be put on a t-shirt.
So they sound great. But Kevin, I don't know if this is Kevin's board or what, but he's got a way huge green rhino down there. And what is this? It's the cheese fuzz.
Cheese ball?
The cheese ball from JHS. It's a fuzz. Bradford was like channeling the Eric Johnson vibes with this thing.
Let's clarify. The tone reminds me of a one Eric Johnson a little bit.
Super smooth and
Josh Scott did a video talking about some of his pedals that didn't sell well, and apparently this is one of them. Here's the Verb with like a nice amount of pre-delay.
What kind of reverb is that? Like what?
A Hall.
Hall. Okay.
It's lush. I'm sure it'll sound amazing in stereo.
Oh yeah. We will test this dude out.
Here is a tape delay. What's this color knob do?
That I like. Can already tell.
Okay, so it kind of brightens it up, basically. Here's the fuzz. That's the closest you're going to get to Cliffs of Dover for me. It's so cool. I've tried to do Cliffs of Dover, and I don't have the real desire to learn it.
You got to put it.
It takes every time I spend like an hour on it, I got to spend like another hour the next day to try to recall what I just spent time on.
Here I am talking about how to do it as though I have a prayer.
But that fuzz is mega cool.
You
could go out and grab a bite.
I turned the camera off and then back on, and it's still. So right, maybe Bradford, we do a video, an episode, a movie about
a movie, picture, a moving picture.
Yes, a film about cool fuzzes, because we have. I mean, there's a billion of them out there, but we never talk about fuzz, and you don't really see fuzz used much in the P-Dub world, except for like the Kilt, which has fuzz vibes on it.
That's what I was about to say. That's a vibe more than it actually is a fuzz.
We've got, so currently we have this cheese ball in the house, and then I have over on that board over there the
title
basic
is
effects.
Fuzz pedals for those who don't love fuzz.
Yes, it's very cool. The Scarab Deluxe from Basic.
Yes.
Basic Audio, Basic Effects. I can't remember. I'll subtitle myself. Basic something.
That was like instant Van Halen.
Okay, so first of all, this is not supposed to be
Holy cow.
This is not supposed to be the reveal of this, But I finished this pedal board.
Good gracious. That was the coolest thing.
That was awesome.
That's why he used that thing.
I know. That was the micro pitch from Eventide, which is that red pedal down there. Basically, we were just like, how does the H9 and the Boss DD500 compare to the UA effects? That's kind of what we wanted to see. Oh, and we got a stereo amp set up with the Bogner, Duende, and the Princeton, which sounds...
You're not going to appreciate the stereo,
so good.
But maybe it came through.
Yeah.
God.
So, that was the Scarab Deluxe. Remember we just said the fuzz for people who don't like fuzz? The Scarab Deluxe with the micro pitch, some delay, some hall reverb, and man, it sounded awesome.
When you turn the micro pitch on and you turn that Scarab on, I didn't even have to try too hard to feel like it was Van Halen. So I was going with a Van Halen vibe, and in stereo.
Awesome sound.
Okay, so we mentioned in the beginning of this video that we would talk about this new desk setup that I have implemented here at Worship Tutorials. By the way, the desk used to be over there.
Now it's just there for the host garbage, apparently.
It's just trash. So we moved it over into this area of the room. I had been using a desk, and I'll try and get a picture of it or something, that Fuller made. He built it, designed and built all himself, and then he designed and built a new version for some gear that he had. So he gave me the old one, and it served me well for a long time, but it was just kind of starting to not work as well for my needs. So I bought the output platform desk and Sidecar, which is this thing over here. I think we're gonna do like a studio tour in a separate dedicated video, but I've gotten a lot of questions on how I'm doing this, what I'm doing here, so I'm just gonna quickly run through it. The heart of this whole operation is this center section. This is a Universal Audio Apollo X8P. This is the Apollo 8. I think it's just the Apollo 8. This is a much older unit. I've got them wired together so they work together. So this has 8 XLR ins. This has 4 XLR ins and 4 1/4-inch ins. And then it of course has 8 outs, and it does ADAT as well. And then speaking of ADAT, over here we have a Behringer, and they don't make these anymore. Is that right?
No, I think they were just out of stock for a bit.
Because Brad
it was
tried
hard to get
buy
one. But they're back.
But oh, they're back. You can
I guess so.
now. This is the Behringer AD
88, 8200?
ADA 8200. So the letters ADA. I'll link all this stuff in the description. 8200. It is an 8-channel, 8 input, 8 output, 8 XLR in or 1/4-inch in ADAT. There's a lot of A's and 8s.
This is confusing.
Yes. There's 8 channels XLR in, 8 channels 1/4-inch. Actually, it's XLR out, but it's line out. And it's ADAT, meaning there's a single optical cable that runs from this Behringer thing into the Apollo. So you can see I have all of the things running into this system all at the same time.
Which is pretty ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous. We've got a Helix. Underneath there is a Pod Go, and I swap that out with the HX Stomp. That's all wired in all the time. We have the aux, Universal Audio aux. We have the 2 Notes Capture X. We also have the Quad Cortex.
Ooh.
Available at a press of a button, which I'll talk about in a second. We've got the Kemper, we've got the FM3, and we have the Axe FX 3. So all of that stuff is going into this system all at the same time. And then I am able to run a single guitar cable in, and then with this unit, which I'll talk about in a second, I can switch. I can tell that signal, my guitar signal, where to go. I can run to any or all of them at the same time with the press of a button. So there's a 1/4-inch cable that runs from that to the input of this. This is the RJM Effect Gizmo. So I have the mini Effect Gizmo here. I used to use this, but I just wanted more channels, so I bought the big rack mount unit, and it also fits better in the rack. So the back of this thing looks kind of like the back of this thing. You just run your guitar in, and this is RJM stuff is great. It's built like a tank.
I love their PVCs.
Yeah, like all of these are separate loops, and it has a buffer because there's a lot of cabling, right? So you're running a cable into that panel, then the panel has a cable that runs here, and then these have cables that run out to the units. So there's a lot of cabling, so you can have a buffered input, which is nice. And I have extensively tested this stuff out, and I do not hear a difference when I run through the RJM versus just plugging straight into like the Helix or the Kemper or whatever.
That's part of what makes RJM so great.
Yeah, so really what I'm doing is I'm running a guitar into it, and then I'm only using the sends. So each channel has a send and return. This one has a lot more under the hood. For one thing, channels 9, 10, 11, and 12 are all stereo via TRS jack. So if you want to do something like how it's designed, it'll handle stereo, like delays and reverbs and things, modulation effects. But what I'm doing is I just have my guitar comes into it, and of course you can plug into the front as well if you want. And then I'm sending it out. So loop 1 or send 1 goes to the Helix, send 2 goes to Axe Effects, send 3 goes to Kemper, send 4 goes to FM3, 5 is Quad Cortex, 6 is Stomp. I have 7 in here because I really want to have Stomp and Pod Go on a separate channel, all in at the same time. But then on 8 is a direct out. So what I'm doing here is I'm just running the send of channel 8 just directly into one of the inputs on the Apollo 8. So the idea is, like when we do a guitar playthrough or a demo or anything, we can record the direct out, and then I can and I actually have the cable. I was testing this out yesterday. This is like the outputs for one of the Apollos. I can just send the direct out into the guitar in, then I can send that direct signal back into whatever unit I want. So that's something that I've wanted to do for a while. I have to experiment because you have to get the levels right. So I'm still kind of playing with that. Anyway, that's the setup. We can do a little more in depth. Oh, are you looking at these pedals?
Just peeping them. Just peeping them.
That's coming.
That's coming.
So yes, and of course there are like lots of other goodies up here, like preamps and microphones and speakers and computers and all that, amps.
All things that are good.
We'll talk about those things more in a dedicated studio tour video. This is how we make a living, is building patches and presets for all these different units. And one of the things we're trying to do these days, like we just released the SLO patch, and it came out for Helix, HX Effects, Podgo, FM3, and Axe Effects 3 all at the same time. And we built that patch all at once on all the different units. And it's really cool when you're just playing like, okay, you got it built for Helix, you turn it on. All right, let's compare it to Axe Effects. Turn it on. How do they sound? You know, how can we make a change in one to make them closer, right? Mm-hmm. It also really lets you A/B things really quickly, which is gonna be Bradford's department here at Worship Tutorials, to do A/B comparison videos of all the things.
It's my favorite. Yet another reason to insert a thumbs down in this video.
Anyway, so for our specific use case, what we do here at Worship Tutorials, it's very useful.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of different things that you want to send your guitar to all at the same time, or you want to just A, B, C, D, it could be useful for you as well. I figure this mini Effect Gizmo might be the ticket for a lot of people. They're updating this thing too, that you can reorder loops. Is that right, Bradford?
Yes.
So yeah.
And you can turn multiple loops on at once if you desire.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here. So I do have open channels, which I'm planning to use to be able to, like, once I hit the amp situation finalized, or what's going to live over here permanently, I can have signals that are permanently sent to amps as well. So then you could run a pedal board in and then send it to amps.
Any of these, perhaps?
Yes.
Might these entice you?
There you go. That is the Worship Tutorials vlog. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.